Hey guys, this is Brian Mason of the bands CHRMR, Sulaco, and Contrarian, and this is the CHRMR Rig Rundown. Okay, I guess we'll start with my guitars that I use in CHRMR. This is my Charvel Style 2, which means telly shape. Made in Mexico. I believe it's a 2019. It's got an ebony board, ash body, Floyd Rose and all that. Floyd Rose is locked, doesn't get used at all. It's got my signature BG Hellebucker in there, in the bridge, and I believe it's a Seymour Duncan Nazgul, or no, Sentient in the neck position. These guys have been using, not necessarily my signature version, but I've been using the Hellebucker for probably 16 years now, almost exclusively. It's a great guitar because it's got the single coil split, it's got a no load tone on it, and it's just a fantastic playing guitar. It's got some cool cutaways on the back to make life easier. This little guy. And we got our belly cut, which I definitely need. And yeah, it's just a great guitar. I use 12s on this. We are tuned to C, and our low string is tuned to stupid. For this last album, we've completely changed our tuning, so we're all straight C through here, and then the low string is tuned to a G, just for the extra sludge. This is actually my Sulaco guitar, the one I'm currently using for Sulaco. However, for older CHRMR things, I will be tuning this to, what would it be, drop B flat. It is straight C right now, and any older CHRMR songs we do, I'll drop this down. This is a Jackson body. This is a bit of a mutt of a guitar, but it's a Jackson Adrian Smith body. It's stock Floyd Rose. I added the mint pick guard because I thought it was cool for that old school thing. This is actually a Warmoth neck. I believe this is not a Warmoth Pro. I believe it's a Warmoth traditional or vintage, or it's definitely not vintage. So it's definitely a traditional or whatever model does not have the cool little screw for truss rod adjustments there. It is a little weird because this is a Fender size neck, and the Jacksons and Charvels have a 2 1/4 inch heel, which is just slightly bigger than the Fender standard size, but it fits great, it works great, nothing's moving. It sounds absolutely incredible. I put my logo on it because I don't like blank headstocks. This is literally the first Hellebucker I ever bought, probably 16, 17 years ago. The original Hellebucker. It doesn't have the screw slugs in it. It's just regular, silver metallic slugs on it. Where my signature edition's got the black ones with the screws. But yeah, I think it's cool with the reverse headstock, and it's really sounding super tight. So I really love this guitar. So here's my rig. It looks complicated, but it's really super simple. We'll start with this guy. Only gets used at the practice spot. I only bring one cabinet to shows. So I leave the Marshall here, but for practice I like to have 8 speakers because I am awesome and I want to hear myself. It's an old JCM 800 1980s cabinet. It's got the original T75s in it. I believe they are the vented ones, which sound a little bit less harsh than the modern ones. It's a great cab. And then I got EVH right there. Lon just brought me that from the archive. So he's gonna come home with me or to work, one of the two. This is a stock, no, it's not stock. It's a Friedman cab. Originally had the greenback 25s on top and the vintage 30s on the bottom. I don't like vintage 30s. It sounded okay together, but once I mic'd them and isolated them, I just can't take it. So I ripped them all out and I put the creamback H75s in there, Celestian, and they sound incredible. This is the Friedman BE100. It's a 2015 model that was sent out to David Friedman to get updated to the 2016 specs. And I use this setup for CHRMR, I use it for Sulaco, I use it for Contrarian. It works for the super low tunings of CHRMR, and it works for the standard E tuning of Contrarian, BML, whatever. It's just a fantastic head, and all I have to do really is just adjust some of these EQs, adjust the gains a little bit for each band, and that's it. So I literally, this is the head that just made me stop buying amps. I'm done. This is the head. This is the one. That one. So this guy, this is my Christmas tree. Hello, Chris Dawson. This is my Line 6 Helix. I can't say enough good things about it. I have this set up 4-cable method, and it's used only for effects. So I have it hooked up 4-cable method, so my delays and stuff go into the effects loop of the amp, and then I always like my modulations to be up front before the distortions, so it just sounds thicker and less tinny to me that way. So anything like chorus or tremolo or anything like that, I have going in front of the amp. So it's basically just a big pedal board like anybody else with a bunch of pedals, but I can, with one button, switch a whole bunch of crap at once. So it's really, really cool. I love this thing. I have used this for its modeling stuff, which I don't use at all for live. You know, the Friedman sounds spectacular, so why would I want to use an amp model? But I have like all the last 2 Contrarian records I recorded with nothing but this, using the Friedman model built into this, just hooked straight up to my interface. It's a fantastic piece of kit. I highly recommend it, and yeah, cool little thing. Finally, this is the rig that we recorded our entire last album, Low in the Glow, on. It is a 2009 iMac with an i7 in it. I can't remember the amount of RAM, something like, I can't remember. I think it's like 20, some weird odd number. 20 something gig of RAM in it. We got our interface right there. These Behringer monitors are garbage, but you know what? As long as we can hear what we record, I can always bring it home and use my nice monitors at home. Just got this thing. We did not use this for CHRMR, but I just recorded some Sully tracks with this thing, and it sounds absolutely amazing. It's just a load box for a guitar head, and it's got built-in IRs, and there's a bunch that you can choose from. Something like 16 different IRs you can choose from, and you can add your own. And it sounded amazing with the recording we just did tonight. So I'm really stoked on that. Got it. Here's all my other guitars. But we will save that for a Contrarian / Brian Doesn't Play Guitar at Home rig rundown. Next week we'll go over all of this. This is Charlie's rig. It's interesting. See you next week.